Elex Michaelson is the co-anchor of Fox 11 News weeknights at 5 and 10 p.m. alongside Christine Devine and co-hosts the 6 p.m. show with Marla Tellez. He also hosts The Issue Is, a political talk show airing Friday nights. A native of Agora Hills, Elex's broadcasting journey began as an intern at Fox 11. Known as a political junkie, he's interviewed major political figures and moderated key debates. Elex has won 8 Emmys and 7 Golden Mics. He's also a proud USC grad and actively volunteers with local charities.
Elex, who are you and what do you do?
My name's Elex Michaelson. I'm the anchor at Fox 11 News at 5, 6, and 10. And then I host a statewide political show called The Issue Is.
What's your favorite time of day?
My favorite time of day is late at night, after I'm done working and after everybody stopped bothering me. I just have a little bit of time to myself to read or watch TV or think. I love that time of day when it's dark and quiet.
What's your biggest weakness?
My biggest weakness is people pleasing, and I'm in therapy to try to work on that.
What's your biggest strength?
My biggest strength, I think, professionally, is my versatility. I like a lot of different things. I love politics, which people know, but I also love entertainment and sports and pop culture, and I like to be able to do a lot of different things, and I find that this job is really great for that because you get to do a mix of a lot of different kinds of things.
What's the biggest learning experience you've had?
Biggest learning experience I've ever had would be, I think, spending time with my mentor, Conan Nolan, and seeing him up close. He's a reporter at a different station at Channel 4, and he taught me so many different things about how to actually do this job, but more than anything else, he taught me how to be a better person, how that this industry is a marathon, not a sprint, that the most important thing that you can invest in is relationships, that people remember how you show up in life for them, and I think that, more than anything else, is the most important learning experience.
Are you more of an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm both an introvert and an extrovert, depending on the situation. I can be incredibly shy and awkward in certain social situations, but then love being on the stage or being like dancing on the table in other situations. So I think it depends.
What's your idea of a perfect date?
My idea of a perfect date would be spending some time outside, maybe some time at the beach, a really good dinner with great wine, and then, good time to talk.
What's one vice you wish you could give up?
Sugar. I'm addicted to sugar. I can't stop eating sugar. When I go off of it, I start to shake like I'm some sort of weird drug addict. I have a real penchant for cookies that's hard for me to give up. My mom bakes great cookies for our guests on The Issue Is, so I'm working on my sugar addiction.
What's a cause that's important to you?
There are a lot of causes that are important to me. But if I had to pick one that I've worked with over the years, it's the Drew Childhood Development Corporation in South LA. They get kids going before school, get them learning, get them nutritious meals. I've helped and mentored them, worked with them, hosted their events for years, and seeing what a difference early childhood education makes is really something I'm passionate about.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
The best compliment I've received is from one of my best friends, Brian, in high school. I remember I was student body president, and I had helped him get involved in student council and mock trial and basketball and other things. He became homecoming king, and he talked about the fact that you've changed my life for the better. And just seeing how he had transformed and being a part of that, I remember sitting in class and a tear dropping down, feeling really proud that my impact had really changed somebody's life. And I think the more that we can do that and amplify that, it's really a profound thing.
When do you feel the most inspired?
I am most inspired being around people that are inspiring. I think it's amazing to be surrounded by, passionate, ambitious people who you can bounce ideas off of. And that is really fun. When somebody has a similar train of thought or even a different train of thought, and it gets you going. And I think we spend so much time, unfortunately, in the minutia of just trying to get through the day that it's really inspiring when you're able to have conversations that are sort of big picture and talk about big issues.
Sweet or savory?
Definitely sweet over savory.
What song can you listen to on repeat?
I can listen to a lot of songs on repeat, but one that I love that my mom made me love as a kid is Ain't No Sunshine by Bill Withers.
What makes you smile the most?
Funny people make me smile the most.
What's one thing people don't know about you?
A lot of people don't know where the E in Elex comes from. So my great-grandmother Ethel was named Ethel, and she had an E, and often in Jewish tradition you take the first letter for somebody who's passed that you really love. My mom was very close with her, so that's where the E in Elex comes from. And probably the craziest experience of my career so far is I know that there are several different kids that have been named Elex. Now they're not my kids, as far as I know. But I've heard from viewers from different stations over the years who named their kids Elex, and now some of those kids are starting to be like, there's one that's like 10 years old, which is making me feel old, but I hear from them, and that's pretty crazy.
Sneakers or flip-flops?
Oh, sneakers and flip-flops. It's hard to go between. I'm a huge beach person. My happiest place is at the beach, so I love flip-flops, but most of the time I'm wearing sneakers.
Vintage or new?
Vintage is usually better over new.
What are 3 things you can't live without?
Well, I can't live without my cell phone because that's the most important thing that all of us look at all day long. It kind of gets everything else in place. I can't live without books. I love reading. And I can't live without good music.
Window or aisle seat?
Well, as a tall person, I'm 6'5". The window or aisle thing is problematic. Both are problematic. My real answer is exit row, and I will do anything possible in order to get into an exit row. But usually, because if I'm stuck in a regular seat, it would be the aisle just because of the legroom.
What's your current TV character obsession?
I'm loving Shrinking right now, and I love Harrison Ford's character on Shrinking because he's just hilarious.
Morning person or night owl?
Well, as an evening anchor, I should probably say that I'm a night owl because that would be a better answer over morning person. Honestly, I'm both. I love the mornings and I love the evenings. You know what I don't love? The middle of the day. I must be Spanish or something. I wish I could take a nap from like 2 to 4 every day. I would be so much happier because I love late at night, I love early in the morning, but the middle of the day could go without.
What's the most adventurous thing you've ever done in your life?
I did go bungee jumping in Mexico when I was drunk on a bachelor party. And when I got up there, I realized I never signed a waiver because, they don't really do that. And I realized that all of the safety equipment that they use in America, they didn't really have there. And I quickly sobered up, but at that point had gotten so close to the edge that I felt like I had to go. And there was the U2 song playing about, I finally found what I'm looking for, and it felt very suicidal, the whole thing. But I went for it, and you were supposed to touch just your fingertips into this water behind you, and all my friends, their fingertips touched, but they misjudged me because I was so tall. So my whole head and everything dunked in there. It was pretty traumatic, but it was fun, I guess.
How would you define yourself in 3 words?
Hopefully, I think a lot of people would say intense. I would say compassionate and hopefully intelligent.
What's your current favorite piece of clothing that you own?
Well, I've been wearing the same suit a lot just because it's easier. So I guess I've been wearing that. But I really am happiest when I'm in sweatpants. I'm really thrilled when I can be out of the suit, to be honest.
What's a must-have clothing item everyone should own?
I am a fan of the Adidas Sambas, which I guess are shoes, not really a clothing item. But I think that that's like a very comfortable thing that works for guys and girls. And having a really comfortable pair of shoes is great.
What's inspiring you in life right now?
What's inspiring me in life right now is the incredible generosity and outpouring that we've seen in the LA fires, not only from firefighters, but all of the people that have come forward to help, and this sense of community that LA has brought together here and people from around the world. And having covered so many tragedies in so many jobs and reporting from so many different mass shootings over the years and earthquakes and hurricanes and all the rest of it, every single disaster, I'm always inspired at the end of the coverage that there is so much more good in the world than there is bad. And there are so many more good people than there are bad people. And as tragic as a lot of these disasters are, they often remind us about our shared humanity.
Favorite sports teams?
Favorite sports teams. I mean, I'm an LA guy, so I mean, my number one team is the Lakers. I know in LA, team 1A is the Dodgers, and then for most people, there's a big drop-off. But I love the USC Trojans as a proud, USC guy. But then we've got to go. LAFC is one of the most fun experiences if you can ever go to a game there. We love the Kings. We love, obviously the Rams and. Unfortunately, the Chargers don't have much of a fan base, but we love the Chargers too. I mean, there's a lot of great experiences here. But I was born and raised an extraordinary Laker fan, and most of my childhood was like studying Lakers encyclopedia. So that's really my favorite.
Least favorite sports teams?
Oh, geez. Well, as a Laker fan, we don't love the Boston Celtics, who of course have won more championships than the Lakers. So, growing up, we didn't like the Sacramento Kings. That was my era where, we really hated that team. And I don't know. And then the Dodgers, of course, the Giants, Padres, but the most hated of all is the cheating Houston Astros, who screwed us out of World Series championships, and we will never, ever, ever be okay with the Astros.
What's one item you can't live without?
I don't think at this point in my life that I could live without my phone.
What's the best piece of advice you've received?
You hear it from so many different people, but to be authentic, I think, is the best piece of advice that you can receive, that you are the best version of you. And the more you try to be other people, it's very hard, and it's the easiest when you can figure out who you are. Now, figuring out who you are is the challenging part. Once you get there, everything else is easy.
What's your pet peeve?
That annoys me. Well, there's a lot of things that annoy me, but one that always sets me off is people on social media who comment on my posts but don't actually watch the video or watch the show. And people that follow me know that I like to respond, did you watch the video? Because they're often saying something that is clearly provably untrue if they spent the time to watch the video. So I'm all for constructive criticism. Just watch the show first, because if you don't, you look like an ignorant you-know-what.
Who is your role model?
Oh, I have a lot of role models. I mean, both of my parents, I think, are my most important role models. But professionally, I loved Tim Russert, the moderator of Meet the Press, who I got to spend some time with as an intern and was just my broadcast hero. I think he did it the best of anybody that's sort of in that space. And I got to give a lot of love to Conan Nolan, who was my still mentor in this space. And a shout out to, some people might not know this, but I started as an intern at Good Day LA when I was 17 years old. So the whole crew there, including Bob DeCastro, who and Tony Butita, our photographer now, are the first people that ever shot a stand-up with me and helped teach me how to do that. So it's kind of crazy that I'm back here working at the place where it all began.
You're going out to celebrate. What are you ordering?
Other than drinks, what are we ordering? I love Italian food. So like a good chicken parmesan is about as good as it gets, or a really good bread with olive oil is amazing. I love great wine, which I don't get to do that often. Or if you're celebrating, beer, or maybe you're going for sushi and you got some sake. I love a good sushi and sake night too. But more than any of the food, it's really about the people that you're with and the company that you surround yourself with.
What's something you noticed about someone when you first meet them?
Well, I mean, there's an inappropriate answer to that in terms of what you notice about somebody when you first meet them. But let's just say their heart and their soul.
What's your biggest regret?
Biggest regret for me is probably working too hard and not spending more time just to have fun. The more I learn, the more I realize the importance of balance.
What's heavily played on your playlist right now?
In terms of music, what's heavily played? It's been a lot of Kendrick Lamar because we are taping this having just gone through the Super Bowl experience. So that got me kind of on a Kendrick Lamar trip, and then some of the LA rap inspired by that.
What's your favorite board game?
I mean, Monopoly is like the standard board game, but I love the game Cranium, which is really fun, where you get to, do different things, including acting out and do quizzes. And I like that you got a lot of variety in that game.
What's your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure is just, I love the idea of being able to binge a TV show and just veg out and not talk to anybody and not have to think about very much and just be in sweats and get swept up into a world. White Lotus just started again on HBO, and it was just so fun to be transported to that space for a little while.
What book did you most recently finish?
In the book that I most recently finished, I just finished the Bob Woodward book, War, which is very on brand for what I'm doing now. Just started this Jonathan Ives book called King, A Life, about Martin Luther King Jr.
What are you currently reading?
That's what I'm currently reading, yeah.
Who is your biggest inspiration or motivator?
My parents are my biggest inspiration and motivator. They've sort of set me up from day one in terms of giving me a lot of, giving me everything.
How do you start your day?
Unfortunately, I usually start my day looking at my cell phone, which is not a great habit, because then you start going through the emails and you're back in that place. People say you should start your day meditating. I've tried that. I have a hard time focusing on the breath for that long. I got to work on that. Maybe my therapist will get me there, but I am usually starting with the scroll. Although the right answer, of course, is I start my day with Good Day LA every morning. I just click on the TV and there it is.
What's your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, because it's a lot of my favorite things at one time. First off, there's nothing more important than food. Secondly, the only thing more important than food, of course, is family. And then an opportunity. What I love about Thanksgiving is it's not really about presents. It's not about who can spend the most money and sort of one-up each other in that space. It's about gratitude. It's about spending time together. And it's about football, which is also really fun.
If you could switch lives with one person for a day, who would it be?
I think it would be fun to be the President of the United States for a day, just to see what that's really like and to try to do some good without having to go through the raising $1 billion or all the special interest lobbying and all that stuff, but just get to do what you want to do, sign some executive orders, maybe some pardons, and do some good.
What's one thing you've always wanted to try, but you've been too scared to do?
Running for President of the United States. No, I don't know. I don't know. What would be something I'm too scared to try? I want to start my own podcast, and so that would be a fun thing to try.
What's the one thing you wish you knew at age 19?
At age 19, I wish I knew to relax a little more.
Besides your phone or wallet, what are a couple of must-have items?
Besides my phone or wallet, what are a couple must-have items? Well, in LA, you kind of have to have a car. So that's one that would be hard to go without. A laptop is a pretty important one for the day. But other than that, I don't know, not much. A towel to shower with. I take a lot of showers. I take like 3 or 4 showers a day, which seems kind of crazy, but that's kind of my happy place and where I do my thinking, and that's my version of meditating.
If you weren't doing your current job, what would you be doing?
If I wasn't doing this, there's a lot of things that I would think about doing, but I would really love to teach. And at some point, I think it would be really fun to spend some time doing that. I do a lot of guest lectures, but it would be fun to work with kids and get them trained.
What's something you can't do?
Figure out how to have a successful, committed relationship. I don't know. What's something I can't do? That's among them, yeah.
Where was the best vacation you've ever taken?
We went on a great family trip to Cabo, to this Palmilla resort. It was beautiful. It was really fun.
What's one city you've always dreamed of traveling to?
I would love to go to Tuscany and spend some time in that part of Italy.
What's something you always travel with?
Other than my phone, I always travel with a book because I like reading on the plane. It's nice to turn everything off and read an old-fashioned book.
Favorite food?
Favorite food is chicken parmesan.
Favorite dessert?
That would be my mom's chocolate chip cookies.
Favorite snack?
Also my mom's chocolate chip cookies.
Best place to eat in LA?
There's so many great places to eat, but I am especially fond of a restaurant called Toscana, which is located not far from the station.
What's a movie that made you cry?
Shawshank Redemption made me cry.
What's your favorite movie of the last 5 years?
Another movie that made me cry, I loved Coda, which won the Oscar.
What's the one talent you wish you had?
I wish I was a better singer.
What's your favorite exercise?
Playing basketball is my favorite way to exercise. I wish I did it more.
What's your favorite band?
Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
What's your favorite fast food order?
The In-N-Out Double-Double with grilled onions.
What's something you don't want to be doing in 10 years?
Wasting time in 10 years. It's nice to get rid of some of the stuff that you do just because you feel like you have to do. The less of that, the better.
What's the cutest thing on planet Earth?
My mom's dog, Andy. It's the cutest thing. Or my nephew, Gabriel. That's probably the right answer.
What's the best thing that happened this year?
Well, this past year, my sister gave birth to Gabriel, so that was pretty great.
What's your favorite cocktail?
A good old-fashioned.
Which movies make you laugh the hardest?
Austin Powers and The Spy Who Shagged Me, which I still think is hilarious.
What do you usually eat for dinner?
I usually do like a meal prep thing that's sent to me that I eat, microwave at my desk, which is really exciting. So usually some kind of chicken or salmon, but I wish it was a little more fun than that.
What do you usually eat for lunch?
Similar.
What do you usually eat for breakfast?
Not enough. I've been doing a lot of intermittent fasting, so not a lot of breakfast.
What's your favorite thing in the world?
Favorite thing in the world is love for the people that you care about the most.
What's your favorite color?
Blue.
What color clothing do you wear the most?
Blue.
What are 3 words to describe living in Los Angeles?
Crowded, exciting, and inspiring.
Do you like surprises?
Sometimes.
What's one thing you had to learn the hard way?
To like surprises.
What's something you're tired of?
This interview. No. What am I tired of? Doing too much work without enough help.
Who do you turn to when you're sad?
I usually turn to my mom or when I'm sad.
What's a trend you would like to see disappear forever?
Meanness. There's a crudeness in our culture right now that I think has gotten worse in the last few months, and I think we all could use a little more compassion.
What did you want to do with your life at the age of 12?
I want to do this. I wanted to either be a TV anchor or be involved in politics somehow, and now I'm doing it.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you about life right now?
I'd say I'll say an 8.
Describe yourself in a hashtag.
Hashtag winning. No.
If you could do a love scene with anyone, who would it be?
Oh God, I don't even have an answer for that. I'll have to get back to you.
If your life was a musical, what would the marquee say?
The life was a musical, or so. I think it would just say fire.
What's your wake-up ritual?
When I get up, I usually look at all the different newsletters and a bunch of news articles, and I do usually watch Good Day LA and then take a shower and sort of start my day. But I think if I have to find some sort of workout in the morning or else it's not a good day.
What's your go-to-bed ritual?
I usually take a shower and then do some sort of wind down, whether it be reading or watching a show or both.
What is one thing no one knows about you?
Oh, well, no one knows. I don't know what no one knows about me. That's a good question.
Dream country to visit.
Where have I been? I've never been to South America, to any of those countries, but it would be so fun to be in Brazil at Carnival. It would be amazing.
What's the biggest surprise you've had?
When I was in high school and I was the student body president, I was captain of the basketball team, and for my birthday, I thought nobody did anything for me, and my parents were acting really weird, and they took me to this house that I had never been to before, and I was kind of fighting with them and in a bad mood and felt very unloved. And then I opened the door and my whole world was there. And it was the student council, it was the basketball team, it was all different friends, and I actually felt like it was almost an out-of-body experience of actually being in shock for 30 seconds. So that was a cool surprise.
Who do you want to write your obituary?
Well, that's an interesting question. My friend Brian Goldsmith is probably the smartest, best writer I know, so I think he would do the best job.
What's one ingredient you put in everything?
Well, I don't do very much cooking, but I love it if you can add a little honey or olive oil to things.
What 3 people, living or dead, would you like to make dinner for?
Well, I mean, So should these be people that are not associated with your life? Because it's like you could pick your family and all the rest of that, but they're all great, but I get to see them, so we'll go bigger picture. Not bigger picture like it's a small picture, but you know what I mean. I would love a chance to talk to Tim Russert about politics today, where things are at. Clearly, Jesus Christ has had a long-lasting impact on people, so wouldn't it be interesting to hear? Everybody says, what would Jesus do? But it'd be nice to actually ask him, what would Jesus do in this sort of scenario? And the greatest president, I think, is Abraham Lincoln. It'd be great to pick his brain about how to bring our country together at a time when we could use more of that.
What's your biggest fear in life?
I think the biggest fear a lot of people have is to not be loved. And I think we ultimately want to feel loved and not feel alone.
What's your current TV obsession?
Well, I was just watching Shrinking. I'm excited about The White Lotus again. And I don't know, there's a lot of great TV out there right now.
Favorite app?
Favorite app is the Fox Local app. Hello.
Secret talent?
I don't know what my secret talent would be. I guess I got to figure that out.
Superpower you would want?
Wouldn't it be fun to fly for a little bit? That would be pretty awesome.
Best advice you'd give your teenage self?
Relax and have fun.
What would you like to be remembered for?
I like to be remembered for being a good person who lifted other people up.
How do you define beauty?
A good person who lifts people up.
What do you love most about yourself?
I love when I am the most generous version of myself and am focused on helping other people and get out of the ego and get out of all the craziness and the drama and am that version of me.
How do you handle stress?
Not great. I think we're still working on that. I do a lot of compartmentalization, and that's not always the healthiest way to do it. But what I've kind of learned over the years, especially being in this sort of job, being an anchor when there's a lot of stuff coming at you, is to just sort of try to calm things down and take one thing at a time.
Best way to rest or decompress?
I love, when you can, to just shut out the noise, turn off the devices, and then just take some time to, whether it be reading or watching a show or just having it be quiet. I find that to be very restful. And the greatest days are when I can take a nap.
Favorite place to view art?
Well, my mom is an artist, and so that's what she does for a living, and she has, all of her paintings around the house and around my place. So seeing my mom's art, that's my favorite place to see.
If your life were a song, what would the title be? I saw that Araxia phoned a friend on this one. I don't know. I probably should have done that or thought about this when I saw that question. I don't. I don't know. I got to think of. I don't know. If you could master one instrument, what would it be?
Well, I used to play saxophone as a kid and haven't played it in a while, and it would be fun to go back.
If you had a tattoo, where would it be?
Oh man, not a big tattoo guy, but I always thought the only tattoo that I would get would be if I was in the Olympics and then you get the Olympic ring. That's pretty cool. And so probably either here or like the swimmers put it down here.
Do you prefer texting or talking on the phone?
Usually texting is better. I mean, it's got to be a special person to want to call.
What's your spirit animal?
I love the elephant. I think it's hopefully wise and smart and very family focused and also kind of big.
Best gift you've ever received?
The best gift I've received is actually just time.
The idea of like being able to be given space. At this point, like I'm so much more into experiences than something materialistic. So the idea of my dad's going to take me to Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, the idea of going to a Laker game, the idea of going to a great concert is way more fun than some watch or something materialistic.
Best gift you've ever given?
Similar. I like to give experiences. Kind of selfish because then I usually get to go with somebody.
Least favorite color?
I don't know. The color of throw up is really a gross color. That's not great.
What would you do if you won the lottery?
If I won the lottery, I would give most of the money away and find a way to help as many people as I could, which is kind of a boring answer. But that's the truth.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
I like Living on a Prayer.
What's your go-to comfort food?
Well, I've talked a lot about chicken parmesan and chocolate chip cookies, and both of those are things that are comfort food to me. I also love a good pie. There's a place called Winston Pies, which is not far from here, that has a chocolate cowgirl, which is the name of their double chocolate pie. When I'm either in a really good mood or a really bad mood, I go with that.
Coffee or tea?
I don't drink any coffee, which some people are surprised by, and I occasionally drink tea, but most of the time, water.
What's the weirdest word in the English language?
Other than moist. Zizix, is that a word? Or I don't know. There's some weird ones.
Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark chocolate.
Stairs or elevator?
Stairs.
Summer or winter?
Definitely summer.
You're stuck on an island. You can pick one food to eat forever without getting tired of it. What would you eat?
It's boring, but salmon.
A dessert you don't like?
Not a huge tiramisu fan. Don't love the substance of it. And also flan to me is kind of gross.
A skill you're working on mastering?
Being better at time management and learning to say no.
Best thing to happen to you today?
Other than getting to spend time with you guys, that is the best thing. We got an opportunity on this day that we're taping this to do the first sit down with LA Mayor Karen Bass since the fires began. And that was a big interview, and I've known her for 15 years, and that's built on a lot of trust to do it with us. And so I feel grateful to be in a position to do something like that I know a lot of people will be watching, and a lot of people want questions answered, and to be able to be in that position to do that is a big responsibility.
Worst thing to happen to you today?
I didn't get very much sleep. I was nervous about this interview with Mayor Bass, and I had to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning, so I only got a few hours of sleep, and so I think that made me not as good in the interview, but so be it.
Favorite smell?
Oh man, the smell of like a new baby is pretty nice, and I'm a huge beach guy, and I love the smell of the ocean.
If you made a documentary, what would it be about?
People helping other people, or the Lakers.
Last piece of content you consumed that made you cry?
I loved we just watched the SNL 50 event, and Adam Sandler did a song honoring many of the people from SNL, but then talked about Chris Farley and Norm Macdonald, and he was tearing up during that, and I started tearing up during that, loving them and loving Sandler and the whole thing.
How you know you're in love?
You know that you're in love when you can't stop thinking about that person, and you feel like you would do anything for them.
What are you most excited about at this time in your life?
I'm excited about the possibilities. There's a lot of change that's happening for me. There's a lot of change happening for the industry, but it's kind of exciting to try to figure out what's next.
Your go-to for having a good laugh?
I love, I do like Austin Powers, which I said earlier, but a lot of the Mike Myers stuff is very funny.
Your affirmation for today.
What does that mean? That means like what you say, like as a slogan. I think about the Lincoln quote about like, am I not making about making a friend? The best way to sort of get rid of your enemies is to make a friend of them, and that's clearly could be better construed, but that's something I'm thinking about. Just not well.
What's your rating of the sit?
My performance was so-so. I think your performance was excellent. The technical work was outstanding. I chose to not study all the other sits in advance. I thought about doing that and then pretending like this was all spontaneous, but I thought, why not actually do it spontaneous? Which I think led to some good moments, but then also led to some moments where I didn't really have an answer. So I'd give myself maybe a 7, but appreciative of the experience. All right, how about that? I guess that's it. I guess they're done with this. So thanks, everybody.